Hi, my name is Lana, and I want to share my story with you. There is a chance you won't believe, as nobody believed it at first. But let me talk you through everything, so you will know that everything I say is true. When I was a little girl, I wasn't very popular, nor very pretty. I had a very loving family and 3 older brothers. Thanks to them, I became a huge nerd. But since being a nerd, or a geek, was seen as boyish, I felt ashamed of myself. I enjoyed spending hours playing on our gaming console with my older brother, and I knew most of fantasy or sci-fi universes as I was born in them. I loved that time of my life. But as my brothers were much older, soon each one of them left our home and I was left alone. My parents loved me a lot, but their company couldn't replace the void I felt. I started to think if there is a way I could make some new friends. Since I always spent time with boys, I also wanted to have some female company. After all, boys don't always get what does it mean to be a girl. So by the end of middle school, I became friends with Sarah, who was a really popular girl. She was seen as extremely pretty, and since she was a child, she was taking part in all beauty pageants, which she usually won anyway. She knew I had older brothers who are gone and that most of our home was more like a men's cave. She always insisted that we will hang out at her place or in the local mall. She showed me how to dress, how to do my makeup, or even how to pluck eyebrows to look prettier. My friendship with Sarah grew stronger. I finally started to feel like one of the girls and not one of the boys. I was also invited to my first girls-only sleepover. I felt extremely excited, especially that during winter break, Sarah made my complete metamorphosis. I started to enjoy girly things. When I finally arrived at the sleepover, no girl recognized me. Mindy, one of the girls who was the closest to Sarah, even said, "At first, I thought you were a boy. And then I just thought you were a freak, but now?" And she straight away came to snap a picture with me so she could post it on her Picagram account. The night was filled with laughter and giggles, and the talk about boys. It turned out that all girls had their crushes, and of course, they all loved guys from our football team. Sarah's crush was Patrick, tall and quite muscular for our age. However, soon after that talk, they jumped into laughing about nerds and geeks. They said that those sad, lonely guys who play video games will always be lonely, and they made fun of especially the one who had lots of pimples, calling him a pizza man. I was disgusted by their behavior, but I needed them to accept me, so I said nothing. Up to this day, I feel bad that I didn't react to their mean comments, but I was younger and I guess more shallow back then. The sleepover was great, and our pictures on Picagram were really popular. People wonder who was the new girl in their pack, and they couldn't recognize me. Even when we came to school, people thought I'm some sort of new girl and not the one they already knew. But when everything goes right, something bad must happen. As I now became one of the pretty girls, I've also started to be noticed by guys, and one of them fell in love with me from first sight. To my unfortunate, it was Patrick. I was avoiding him and trying to discourage him every time he was nice to me, as I knew Sarah would never forgive me that the guy she had a crush on would date me. However, Patrick didn't get discouraged, and he asked me to be his date on our final prom. I turned him down, but instead of asking Sarah out, he went alone. The prom night was a really important event. Sarah and all the other girls were all dressed up and with their dates. I also tried my best to look perfect, but unlike them, I went alone. After all, I didn't need a boy to have fun, right? The key moment of the prom was an election of prom's king and queen, and everybody knew that the biggest chance to win had Patrick and Sarah. He was the best athlete, and she was the most popular girl. Don't they sound like a perfect couple? However, nobody expected what was going to happen. Patrick won, as everybody predicted. But our school had a custom that the king reads out which girl won the queen's title. Patrick took a microphone to his hand, and I think I saw him nervous for the first time. I already know which girl won the title, but before I will share this news with you, I want to say something to that girl. For me, you were always the most beautiful, the funniest, and the best girl at school. I only wanted to come here with you tonight, and if you didn't choose me, I guess fate brought us together again," he said, and everybody seemed moved. Nobody expected he was so romantic, and all girls looked with jealousy at Sarah, who was sure that Patrick speaks to her. Then Patrick took a deep breath and continued. "And the girl who won this year's title is—" He paused and finished with excitement. "Lana Bowman." And people started to clap. I was shocked. Did somebody really vote for me? Did my transformation really make everybody start to like me? I felt like I couldn't breathe, and Sarah was fuming. She jumped on a stage and snatched the microphone from Patrick's hand. I couldn't believe her behavior, but the words that followed broke my heart. "Lana, you little monster! How dare you steal my crown and my boy? Your transformation was just part of a deal I made earlier with Mindy. Without me, you would still be nothing. You would still be only a joke." People had their phones out, and they were recording the entire drama the whole time, making fun of Sarah. She was finally taken from the stage by the couch, and then everybody looked at me. I was frozen. I couldn't move, and my heart was racing. Everybody looked at me, including Patrick, who was on the stage. And I ran away. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't believe my friend turned out to be so cruel. I was running away. But Mindy finally managed to catch up with me. I was furious at her as well, but she apologized. She regretted the entire deal thing, and she said that after she got to know me, she started to really like me. Not only her, but all girls from our pack. In fact, none of them voted for Sarah, who was always mean to them. But they voted for me. I felt moved, and I gave Mindy a second chance. We graduated middle school, and in high school, a lot of people already knew me. It turned out I became very popular thanks to the drama Sarah made on prom, as videos from that were viral. People loved my beauty, my kindness, and I knew that now they truly liked me. However, because of all the experiences with Sarah, I never invited anyone to me, nor did I share how geeky I really am. I wanted them to like me, to see me as a girl and not like a boyish freak again. However, the past still held to me. Sarah and Patrick were in the same high school, and Patrick even had a lot of classes with me. He apologized many times, but I couldn't forgive him. I felt as it was because of him I lost a friend, and he was the one who put pressure on me that evening. Despite his attempts, I ignored him for the entire high school. Sarah tried many times to take back her place as the most popular one, but people couldn't forget what she did to me in the past, and she was always outcast, eating her lunches alone. I thought that I will finally be able to lose her and Patrick when we will graduate high school, but nobody knew what was coming. At the beginning of my final year, one of my brothers, Josh, called us with bad news. He was diagnosed with a serious illness, and the only experimental treatment was available in Europe, so we couldn't be with him. On a call with me one time, he laughed and said, "Hey, Lanny Banani, do you remember when you were small and I showed you how to play video games? I miss those times, and I miss having you close. You can't imagine how much I wish to play again on console with you. Here, I feel so lonely, as almost all days I spend in hospital." And I felt the tears running down my cheeks. I loved Josh so much, and the thought he was lonely made me feel bad. I knew I must try something to make him smile, even a little bit. So without a second thought, I joined Gamage, the biggest streaming platform for gamers.